What's up, people?
Morning, George.
Hour.
How are we?
We are good. We are, let's see, I'm just kind of taking a look. It looks like we have, I would say probably 2/3 of us on here are newer agents, whether to the team or to being an agent in general. So this is really good. I think this will be helpful for everyone, but especially for you guys. Who knows what an Altos report is? Who's heard of it? Has anyone ever taken a look at it? Jesse, awesome. Anyone else? Kristen? I know that some of us on the team, because we use these for our mastermind and market updates, but who has been in Altos reports and is like, oh my gosh, what the heck does this data even mean? What are all of these buttons? What are all these different charts? There's a lot in there. Yeah, see, George, I like I heard this term the other day. It's hot, humble, open, and transparent. So thank you, George. But yeah, so this is actually, Altos Reports is a really awesome resource to take on listing appointments. You could even take it the first time you're meeting a buyer, because a lot of times, you know, there's just so many factors of, well, what's actually happening in the market. George, I'll let you speak more on that, but this shows them real-time data that can be really powerful in, you know, sharing this knowledge and educating your buyers and your sellers. So we wanted to incorporate more agent training. And so George is kicking us off with that. And he's going to tell us all about Altos reports, how to read them and how to use them. So George, the stage is yours.
Yeah, so I probably am not going to take a full hour to go into what I'm doing, but we can go through it and then have, questions that go through. So does everybody know kind of how to get to here? Yes, I'm assuming. Or people that haven't logged on, they do know.
Yeah, maybe could you go over it really quick? Because I think there's some brand new people. So I just want to make sure.
So let's go back. It's Altos. I hate Zoom because I can't move the bar. There we go. It's altos.re when you log in. I don't know if I can go back because I'm already logged in. So I already have the password saved. It's on the Hey Siri. So if you need it, you know where to go and find it. And I'm not going to give the password out over here, but that's where it's at. And then you kind of go from here. So filter reports, right? So there's different areas that you can look at, different zip codes. You can go even into counties. So San Diego, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino. Those are the counties that we have with our Altos sponsorship with Alonzo and Michelle with Tycor Title. So they're the ones that provide this for us. And then you can go through reports. So say you want a zip code like 92009, right? So it's going to bring up Carlsbad. And this is going to be specific to the zip code, which is kind of what you want, because in like Carlsbad, for example, these zip codes matter. As far as like 92008 versus 92009. Cool little thing here too is they separate them by single family homes and condos, because those markets obviously are a little bit different too. So as you can see in 92009, from last month to this month, it actually started ticking up. Last month was in the 40s, so it was more of a buyer's market. Now we're shifting more towards a seller's market again, mid 50s, 60s, which is kind of cool. But then if you change this to like 92008, right? So hit view report. It's not as high, right? So as you can see, it's more of a shifting towards still a buyer's market. List price has gone up, as you can see on the chart over here. So the prices have gone up literally dramatically from the 3rd to the 17th. It's pretty impressive. And then median prices of new listings have gone up from 1,299 to 2.675. Again, this could be limited inventory, and 1 or 2 houses are shifting this price pretty high because it is the median. So it's like if you have 3 houses, 1 at 1 million, then 2 at 3 million, obviously the median price point is going to go up. As you can see though, price decreases. So you've had, pretty good price reductions in this one, about 17%. Your average day on market is shifting down though. So from February 10th to the 17th, it went pretty dramatic from 107 to 76, which is telling you what? Basically, houses are moving quicker, more demand than supply. Inventory is up by 12, which is 9 to 12, not big. Rents are also skyrocketing. So this is a good talking point for buyers, right? This is a good report because this report's not just for a listing appointment or sellers. You take this in and you show your buyers, look, your time, if you wanted to time it, was, December to January where it kind of leveled off. Now rents are skyrocketing again. Relisted is down. Obviously the demand's there. So the relist should be down if these numbers are accurate. Let's see. If we go down to these, I like these charts a lot because it's going to take this up here and kind of spread it out or over a more horizontal monthly average. So you can have a chart. I like to send these charts, like screenshot this and send them in an email to a client after you do the showing, especially with people that are saying like, oh my gosh, the house prices are crazy. The market's going crazy, blah, 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 blah. What you can show them is 19 to 22 right now. This is kind of where the market's playing. And before that, pre-COVID, it was pretty stable, right? So you could see it's pretty flat from March 18 to about October 2019. And that's going to be for your median list price. Big one, price decreases, price increases for this market's kind of good. Days on market is going to be great. I would do average versus median because I don't like the median because like I said in the price too, just a couple houses can really shift that number. So if you're going into a listing appointment and you tell your client, oh, the median list price is 1.5, right? But their house falls on the high end of it, you're giving them wrong data because their house doesn't fall within the median, they're above it or below it. So really dive in and get your comps to make it more specific to the property. The other one I really don't like is price per square foot. I know everybody talks about it and I kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts on that. But I never really I've had one or two clients that are like, okay, well, this price per square foot is way higher than that price per square foot. I mean, let's have an interactive conversation about it. I don't ever use it. Does anybody else or anyone want to speak up on it? No.
I mean,
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, I feel like it being coastal California, there can be a huge difference if it has a view. Also, we have like a ton of different age style homes. You have, kind of like master plan communities or older homes that are built back in the 50s and 60s. So it's like there's a huge variety of homes. So it's kind of hard to compare, apples to apples.
I agree. And that's one of the biggest things is because you are comparing, lot size, views, whether it's in a planned unit or not. If it has an HOA, doesn't have HOA, what school district it falls in. Because even though we put 92009 in there, some of those houses fall within San Marcos School District. So the value of those homes are going to be substantially less than the ones that fall within the Carlsbad School District, even if it's the same exact house. So using this is more like just a general rule of thumb, right? So it's going to like have a conversation piece, but you really need to dig in and get your comps more specific to that neighborhood or what an appraiser is going to do. What else? There's another added piece to this is, okay, so if you want to go into condos, that's going to be a little different too. I think if you show 92008, the price points on condos versus single family is pretty substantial. But I mean, my gosh, look at that. Almost $1 million for a condo. Woo. That's wild. That's mind blowing to me. But yeah, so that's showing, the difference between houses and condos. Same concept though. You're still going to use the same rule of thumb on all of these reports when you go talk to your clients. I will say, if you look at the rents on condos have actually gone down. versus single family homes have gone up. So you can see that more single family homes are being rented than condos. And I think reason being is you need to make sure the price points make sense, right? So if you're buying a condo as an investment property and your rate on that investment property is a 7.85 and the rentals are, 3,000 on a 3-bedroom, you're going to be losing money. So most people aren't buying those condos to turn them into rentals. That makes sense. And then one other cool thing that you guys could do is go to, I'm just going to type it in real quick, YouTube, and go to, I'm not going to play these because they're pretty drawn out and kind of long, but it's a good resource to have. Maybe if my thing won't load. If you do Altos research, all right, so if you watch this guy, he posts a lot of videos. So as you can see, one was posted 21 hours ago, one was 4 days ago, kind of going over the market and kind of the trends. So even if you don't want to speak to it, this guy will. So you can also link this to your clients and say, okay, this is what the experts are saying about what's going to happen in the spring market, right? But I would watch it before you send it to make sure it's still accurate to what you're trying to present. So you can play it. It's a good resource.
For sale, they took offers, they
here.
accepted one, and are now in that 30 to 60 day window between
Blah, blah, blah. But
inventory decline.
he basically goes over all these reports.
Meaning that's
I'm not going to play this because I can't listen to it for that long, but it's a good resource to have if you want someone else to speak to the talking points versus yourself. Because as everybody knows, clients usually listen to the outside world more than you, or at least they'll listen to the outside world and then come back to you. Does anybody have questions on Altos reports? It's a really good report to speak to and when to use it.
So George, you said you send out this graph at the bottom to your clients. Now, are they able to scroll across that? When you send it to them, are they able to scroll across the line to see how the numbers change, or can they just look at it and not be interactive? Well,
let's see on the PDF. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'm gonna say probably not. No.
I think, since it's a PDF, it's not going to let you. But one thing that I was watching Tina's video, and she said that you can just put your cursor over a certain point and then take a snapshot and then send that to someone.
Yeah, so you could do it over geared towards whatever time period they're looking at. So if you wanted to compare two markets, right? So if you wanted to compare what's at April of 19, it says average, 7-day average 1.2. Screenshot that and then come up to here and do, okay, February 2022, screenshot that, and you can see it went from 1.2 to 1.8 and put them side by side. I wonder if you could do this. I want to see if this actually maybe does make it interactive. Yep. So it looks like if you email it to them, the link actually brings them to this interactive piece. So if you go share email, and you email this to them, it's going to give them a link that brings them to this interactive piece. So instead of doing the screenshots, I would probably send them that. So it's a little more interactive. And then they can play around with it and change it as they want. So they can do median list price, they can do days on market, they can do price per square foot, whatever they want. They can switch it and see how it varies. I'm actually curious. Let's see what the price per square foot does. 701. So looks like it's, well, this is about when the market shifted, right? July went down a bit. Now it's starting to creep back up. So this is a good piece to talk to clients as well. Even if you don't like price per square foot, you can see that price per square foot did go up, kind of leveled off, went back up, kind of leveled off, and now it's going back up. So the trend's about the same. Holiday season levels off. After holiday season goes back up. Summer levels off. After holiday season ticks back up. Yeah, so that's pretty good there. Let's see what else we can do. You can post it to your social media as well. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. I do want to do something. 2057. So it's interesting to me that it shows 50% is still a strong seller's market. So a buyer's market, if you want to talk to your clients, is not 50-50, not 40-60. It's actually not until it hits 30 is when it's an actual considered a buyer's market. Interesting.
Yeah, I was just going to share, George, I had last year I was working with a client that was looking to purchase land. And he did own property here in Cali, but he was actually based northeast. So he was not here on a consistent basis. And so what I would do when I went to go look at properties for him that he was interested in was I would put photographs, imagery, notes together in a PowerPoint, and then include snips of the Altos reporting for him. And he loved that. You know, so if you can, if you're ever in a situation like that, like if someone's relocating from another state, or perhaps they're an investor that's based in another state and not here, you know, to be able to pull all that together and give them that hands-on data and view of the market out here, you know, again, just helps us as agents present ourselves on another level, you know, in terms of professionalism and the data that we're able to provide them. So I found these really, really helpful in that particular client situation.
I agree, 100%.
Hey, George,
Yes.
where do they get the average days on market? I was just looking in Ramona, where I'm in escrow in now, and it says average days on market 87. But what we've seen, like you know, we saw so many homes and they were in escrow within a week of hitting the market.
Do you know the zip code what's the zip code of what you're under contract on?
I think it's,
92065.
yeah, I think there's just one zip code for Ramona, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, let's see. So this is. Yeah, so it's starting to shift more towards a seller's, like even a higher seller's market. So if you do average days on market, you can see it's ticking up. So it was like 107. Now it's going down to 86. And again, you got to remember they're pulling all the properties, right? Not just specific ones or twos that come off, you know, first weekend on the market. They're going to pull the other ones that are still sitting because, you know, whether they're priced wrong or whatever, those still do fall within. Like, let's see, just straight off the MLS. And again, this is just going to be a guide to have the conversation with your clients. Is what I typically like to do is I say, you know, if a house comes on the market first weekend and it's priced correctly and the house is in decent condition, it's going to move in today's market right now. Kind of what you were seeing, Annabelle, with those last three houses.
Yeah, so I really love Altos reports for, you know, some of the graphs. average days on market makes me a little bit nervous. And then I was also looking at the price decrease graph for Ramona.
Yep.
And just from a buyer standpoint, if I didn't know and I was just looking at that graph, I would be nervous to buy right now because it looks like prices are plummeting.
And what I would do is kind of gear, and that's why maybe not send the email link to your client. If you have a client that's like that, gear it towards your client, right? So if your client is very conscious about, oh my gosh, the prices are going down, the average day on market is, 86, right? To talk to that point though, is what you need to do is show the rest of the reporting, right? So show when it was at 120, 150 days on market. Now it's slowly creeping back down to 86, 85, 84. And here soon it's going to be back to, your average day on market is going to be 27. With Ramona though, it is a more rural area. So that area compared to like San Marcos, Carlsbad, obviously you're going to see a huge difference. But this is what's killing those places, right? These houses right here. So what's the difference of these houses in Ramona? Look, it's the price point, right? So what you do is you speak to your client and say, average day on market may be 86, but the houses that are sitting on the market longer are houses that are 5 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 2.3, 1 million, 5 million, 1 million. The houses that are within that $600,000, $800,000 price point are moving, as you can see. Because if I pull up the pending units, right, in Ramona, let's see what the price points are in pending units. Your sweet spot, 600 to 800,000. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a few in here that are 1 million, 2.4, but the bulk of these numbers, if I want to do it top to bottom, as you can see, most of them are under 900,000. You only have a few in the 900s. So to speak to even your client is like, okay, he was in that sweet spot, right? The 750 to 775. Look how many houses went pending within that price point. Like 30. So using the average day on market's great, but you also got to cross-reference it with what's on the market, what's pending, what's under contract. And then you could speak to it. Kind of like what I was saying, the median, I don't like the median days or price points because this would really skew that number. If you have like 4 in the millions and then you have all the rest are, 700, 800,000, it's going to make it be like 800, 900,000 when really it's more the average is 600 to 800. And on listing appointments, I kind of do the same thing, right? So I'll bring it up to the client as well. I'm like, okay, these are the comps that have sold, but you also need to show them what's pending, when it went pending, how many days it took to go pending, and where it was priced, what the condition of the home was, and currently what's on the market in their neighborhood. So what's your competition, right? So then you want to go through, okay, what's more important? Price, time, or convenience. I mean, you got to get down to the seller's why they need to move. Do they want the top dollar? Do they just want to sell to get into their next house? Is there a net number they need to meet to put it down on another house? Currently, I'm going through that with my Valley Center client. It's like, okay, we got an offer less than his desired price, but it's allowing us to have 2 months of free rent back. It's allowing us to get the number he needs to put down on his new construction in Rialto. And it's all like smooth sailing until June 23rd when his new build's done. Do I think we could get a higher price? Probably. But the offer that came in ticks every other box of what he needs, where the higher price points may not. So, Paula, I think I saw your hand up if you have a question.
You called me on. I had a quick question.
Yep.
So since you were showing, like per zip code, I was wondering, is there like a way to do a compilate, like a report on few zip codes, or it's either the county or a specific zip code?
I know you can do city and zip. I don't know if you can do, is there a way you can compare them?
Oh, you can do city.
Yeah, you can do a city.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah, if you want to do like all of Carlsbad.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
and just do Carlsbad and it'll pull up every zip.
Yeah. And then is there a way to just, you know, how it shows like all these different data? Is there a way to like select only few so we can send to the client, you know, only what's relevant?
Yeah. So right here, there's gonna be a drop down.
Oh, okay.
Pick one of those. And then
Oh yeah.
you can
Paula,
also
it's better if you just literally whatever market that they're looking in, find that zip code specifically and send it to them, because it could be better than the overall. If you're looking at Carlsbad and you've got all these different zip codes, and George knows this too, you know, for instance, if Carlsbad and all the average is dropped here, it drops down, but let's just say over by the beach in 92008, it's a lot hotter than 92009. That's going to reflect it. So that's a big thing to kind of help out too, to show them.
I agree, Rich. We went over that in the beginning because I was actually using your neighborhood because your neighborhood in Carlsbad versus like same zip code, but the one on Olga is San Marcos School District. So the house values are completely different, even though it's the same zip. I don't know. He's still there. Cool. Anyone else got questions? This is pretty more interactive than I thought it was going to be, so that's cool. No, yes, maybe. Any other questions about anything, since we have a lot of new agents on here and I have 30 minutes to blab my mouth?
Hey, George, I have a question. I'm horrible at like reading graphs. When it has the dashes, what is that? Is that 7-day average? Like that kind of throws me off.
Which one are you looking at?
Not this right now, but you know, just like whenever, like just pull up an area and then it gives you, not on this, where's like the big screen? Go back to maybe where you were, the Carl's. Yeah, see these dashes right here? What do these other ones mean?
Let me change that. So you can change it to market segments, and I think it's a little easier to read if you click this box, because then it'll show you top 90, upper 90, lower 90, bottom 90. So then it's going to be, okay, your top 90 days, 151, your lower 90 days are on that. The ticks are a 7-day average. So these tick marks, the light blue is going to be a 7-day average. So they're taking literally that week data, right? The long dash, they're pulling it from a 90-day average. So 3 months, a week.
Okay, that makes sense now. Thank you. Because I'm like, wait a minute, if that's 7 days, why is that one spiking? But then, okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be week over week versus 3 months. Yep.
All right. Sorry, that was a dumb question. I appreciate you clarifying.
You're
Thank
good.
you.
No question is dumb.
Unless it's asked by Rich.
That's true.
Just kidding.
That's why I don't ask questions.
I love it.
Give the feedback. Yeah.
George, I have a question. Is there?
Oh no.
Is there like one piece of data like that might be the most important or the most relevant, or is it kind of a culmination of everything?
Well, I think it depends what you're using this report for, right?
Yeah, let's say I'm meeting a buyer for the first time.
Yeah, buyer, I would do average days on market. That's going to be a big price point, whether you can negotiate or not. Whether it's going to be, okay, average day on market, kind of like what we just went through with Annabelle, right? So if average day on market is going down, obviously your negotiating power is going down. If the average day on market's going up, your room for negotiating is going to go up. I think for buyers, that's going to be huge. I would also probably do inventory, because you can use this report to show in a specific zip code that inventory is obviously going down. So when inventory goes down, it's just basic economics, supply and demand, right? So it's going to turn back into a stronger seller's market. As you can see, week over week, we have 39 homes versus over the 3-month average, you have 65. So it's trending the wrong direction for buyers.
Gotcha. And then for sellers, would it maybe be like the average?
That's a good same, well, it's also same good talking point is using that exact same graph, opposite conversation though, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So now you're saying this is a good time to sell because there's low inventory, prices will go up, your home price can go up. Obviously, you have to gear it towards their neighborhood, right?
Mhm.
You can say inventory is going down, but if there's 10 houses on the market in their neighborhood and they're not moving, then this graph, probably you don't want to speak to that.
Yeah. So would you maybe look up the Altos report and then go on the MLS and look in their specific neighborhood and kind of
100%.
data? Gotcha.
Yeah, and if you don't have time for that, because sometimes it gets pretty quick. Like if you're on if your listing, like you have a listing presentation in 30 minutes, right? Pull up Zillow, pull up whatever's around their neighborhood that you can pull up on your phone to make it easy and just be like, I did it, my last one I did at the house with the guy. I literally pulled up I have an app, it's called MLS Touch. So it brings up, it's an interactive map that basically shows you anything that's in with it. It's all based off of GPS. So if I'm sitting at their house and I hit, the map, it shows me what's around his house. And you can just show him like, hey, look, these houses are on sale or are for sale in your neighborhood. This one's at 1.6, this one's at 1.9, this one's at 1.7. Then you can compare, what house has what. And then you say, okay, your house falls within, this price point. And I think I actually won the last listing because of that, because the last agent that went to his house literally just pulled comps and didn't even run his neighborhood. She was giving him comps from like 5 miles away, not same neighborhood, HOA community, one that was barely done up at like 1.3. So it was a mess.
So the data you bring to your appointment matters. That could be the difference between you winning or losing the client.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're telling a client that their house falls within a 1.6 to 1.7 range and the last agent told them 1.3 to 1.5, I mean, who are they going to go with?
Yeah.
Obviously, you have to have documents to support it, though. You can't just tell the client, hey, your house falls within 1.6 to 1.7 and then show them comps that show houses that sold at 1.3.
Yeah.
They're going to think you're an idiot.
So Altos can be an awesome tool for that.
Yep.
Show them the data.
Altos is great. I like to use it more as a guide, though. I don't like to use it as like, this is my focal piece.
Mhm.
I use it as a guide of like, this is what's the trends, and then this is what's the actual data, right?
It's like a supporting document. Supporting point. Yeah. Awesome.
You also want to be specific on what you bring, though. You don't want to overwhelm them with graphs, charts, numbers, because then they're just going to get lost.
That's what I was going to make a comment on, is that when possible, I always try to extract as much information from the seller about what their goals are, because it's all about them and their expectations. But it really helps me to craft and sort of zero in on the important amount of information and data that I do share with them, because you're right, you can overwhelm them with too much. But if you stay focused on how many days on market, how important is it to sell quickly? Are you looking for the top price? Are you willing to wait for that?
Yep.
Do you need to rent back? Do you need a long escrow? So just sort of stay focused on the things that they share with you, so that 1, they feel heard, and number 2, you look smarter because you're presenting information that answers their questions.
100% agree. Yeah. Like I said, you don't want to overwhelm them with, graphs, charts, because if you brought literally every one of these charts to them, it would be a mess.
They don't know how to read it.
No. So I would pick one and just stick with that, have your talking points, and then kind of go from there. But I think, knowing your market, knowing the MLS, knowing you have to know their neighborhood. And you have to be their neighborhood expert, even if you're not in their neighborhood. Cool. What else you got? We got like a lot more time.
Is there a way to adjust the graph so it's just within a particular price point, so you can sort of disclude the high, over million,
right,
and just focus on the mid-range?
Right. I don't think this graph has that ability.
Do you know of any other graphs or any other like software that does that?
What you could do is, like, if you pulled from the MLS, right, And say we wanted to look in Ramona and a price point of 500 to 900, right? Or let's do 8. For your sake, let's do 800. Just because that's what your client was looking at. What you could do is pull the pending units and show them this, and then I believe you can print graph. I know there's a graph in here and I don't know which one it is. I would play with all these and see which graph it is. I'm going to put market summary and see. But there's some good ones in here that can show. No, that's not it. I use this for my CMAs, actually. I like this CMA summary. I think, or is it the thumbnail? Whichever one pulls them up side by side. It's not that one. Quick view, maybe. Yes. So it pulls up properties side by side when you do it. Let's do all, just so you can see. It's going to take forever because it's 31 properties, but basically what it does is it pulls up all your pending units and has a base summary of what the description of the house was. And that way you can compare, you know, if one had a pool, one didn't have a pool, one had a view, one didn't have a view, the importance of basically this is what an appraiser is it's what an appraiser is looking at, right? So if you pull up these houses for your client, right? So you have one at 645 and one at 749, 2,000 square feet to about 2,200, 3-car garage versus 2-car garage, attached. This one had a driveway. This lot size is, yeah, they did it in square footage versus acres, but community pool. So it's probably in an HOA neighborhood where this one may not be. So it's kind of a good talking piece just to have those basically and to print them out and be like, look, this is what each house has and this is what they're going for. But
George, could you still use that CMA summary report or quick view for like multi-residential income properties?
you can do it for anything. Yeah. So the only thing what you would do for that is you would have to change your criteria to, I believe, actually your search up here. You have to do residential income here.
Okay.
Versus just residential, because this is going to pull up your, I believe, rentals. So say, Carlsbad. There's 5. So you can do the exact same reports. You just got to make sure you're doing the right search.
Okay.
Look at that. Not even just Altos. We're getting into MLS, Paragon. What else you want? Dun, dun, dun. I see Steve's going hard at work. What do you got, Steve? I know you got a question. Pick one.
No, I do all of my stuff in Paragon as well. The CMAs are awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do mine the same way George is doing it in the thing. I'm looking forward to playing with Altos. So I've played with it for a long time.
Yeah. And I think sometimes people do their CMAs and make them all look super pretty and think that the client really cares about that. Some will, but I literally just do this summary, print it out, put it in front of them, because really all they want to see is the numbers most. Obviously you still bring them your pretty seller's guide because they like that and they shows that we're real techie. Gear it towards your clientele. I mean, know what your client likes. If they're over the top and they want, you know, fancy stuff, then maybe put it in a CMA folder, but I don't know.
George, I have a question, and this is a little bit off topic, but like I'm working with a client right now and one of their main concerns is school districts. Have you found a way, what's the best, fastest, most efficient way to find like the school districts in your opinion?
I'm gonna let someone else speak to that because I know there's people on here that have put out multiple times school district websites.
Okay.
I know how to do it.
Yeah,
Greatschools.com.
go.
Yeah, but then I have to type in all when he sends me a thing of like 50 properties. Like, is there a way to figure and narrow it down instead of go through like each one? I know about great schools, but
Well, are you looking for like listings within a specific school district? Because I know Zillow has a filter. Like when you go on the app, you can actually filter it by the schools.
Okay, so I have to use Zillow though. It's
No, no,
not, I
no.
don't find this on the MLS.
Well, here's another thing you can do too. Are you saying like, when you set up a client, so say follow-up boss, right? I've done this with a couple clients too.
Yeah, because it has taken me so many hours to like go through the address they sent me and then try to figure out what school district and like from an elementary, everything. And I'm like, this is like, there has to be a better way.
Well, if you want to, are they sending you the listings or you're setting them up on a search within the school district?
No, they're sending me the listings.
So
I
you
mean,
could-
I send them stuff too, but then they come back and there's like 50 listings on there and I have to literally go through each one. A lot of them are pending and then like give them information on each freaking listing.
So what I would do is tell them you're going to set them on a search within the school districts they want, because this Ylopo does a great job of when you do a create new listing search, you can
Right.
literally type in the school district. So say, the cost, school district right here. So it'll pull up
Oh.
every house within that school district.
I had no idea.
Just
Okay.
get rid of pendings though when you do that, because pendings will come through.
Really? I haven't had that.
I get it all the time. It's annoying. So
Really?
they'll want to see a property and it's already pending. That's what I don't like about Ylopo.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather do it with the school district though, than have your client send you 50 homes that 30 of them may not be in the school district.
But George and Paragon, can't you set the filter as well for school districts? You customize your search parameters and add in, I think school districts is one of the ones you can add in.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Paragon's much better, I think, for that.
I just think it's a lot, Paragon's a lot, I don't know. I like both. But I don't set people up on Paragon searches.
Oh, see, that's all I use is Paragon.
Yeah.
Because I
Me
can go in
too.
and see, when's the last time they looked at the properties. And then I get my people to sort them out between rejected, possible, and favorites. So when they call me up saying, let's go see some properties, I go right to their favorites folder, pull those out, schedule those, and we go see them.
Yeah.
I agree with Steve.
I mean, you gotta do what's best for you. I think, cool thing with Ylopo, kind of like with this guy, I've been watching, I literally knocked it down to one neighborhood. And I can see every time he looks at a property within that neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the Paragon, but I'm like the Southwest Riverside or whatever, that one, but I mean, it's pretty similar. But I'm having, I know that when I've sent him stuff through the MLS versus through like what Follow Up Boss and Ylopo, it's hard to keep track because then I have to kind of go back between both of them, right?
Well, that's the other thing is you got to pick. I feel like you have to pick one and stick with one, because if
Yeah.
you're in between both, you're going to miss it.
Right. Okay.
So,
All right. Well, good to know. Thank you. I learned a lot. I appreciate it.
course.
And then if you just need to know what school district a certain property is in, if you don't already know, I have RPR on my SD MLS. I don't know if you guys have that with your CR MLS.
Let's see.
It's like
What
one
is
of
it?
the
RPR?
RPR.
That sounds familiar,
Yeah, we
actually.
do. Yeah, we do have the RPR.
Yeah, you can type in the property address like you're doing a CMA, and
Okay.
don't do the CMA, just pull school report, and it'll give you all the different schools, private schools you can send them to, all the different schools in the area, and it gives them letter grades and different links. Yeah, RPR.
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Okay. Thank you so much, Annabelle. I really appreciate all this.
Yeah, it gives
info.
a pretty decent report on all
Where is
the
it?
different schools.
Okay.
I
Where
just
you
saw it
go?
on your page. It
You
was,
saw it?
yep, if you go down, right there, bottom, yeah, RPR.
Never been on this.
So in the search bar, you can just type in an address.
Okay, this is
So
the
if you
house. on the
put-
bottom.
Yeah, if you just pick and then create report in the right corner there. And then if you scroll down, school report, yep, and then you can just pull that.
That's cool.
Awesome. Okay, that's exactly what I need. Thank you, thank you.
That was pretty quick too.
Yeah, that was very quick.
And it'll
My
go into
process was
that.
horrible.
And then there's your little, your map of the school
Oh,
district.
that's
and
neat.
all- Yep, letter grades. with
That's
all the
neat.
Different choice schools, whatever you want.
All right, so who's buying me this house though? First off, 11 mil. Oh, we.
12 mil, basically.
Yeah, well, not on
Yeah.
the it's on market. It's been on the market forever.
Oh, yeah. I
George,
remember-
it's 1/8 ownership and everybody on this call is pitching in, so everybody gets 6 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, okay. I get Chris.
They originally listed it at 15 million.
Yeah.
This
A
is
couple of us went to that event that was held over there.
Yeah, I remember.
It was
Yep.
a sale.
Yep.
That's
Missed
the one
it.
we went to with the synchronized swimmers.
Yep. Exactly.
Mr. Don Blanco.
That was
Yeah.
the what was she, a TikTok like personality or something?
I have no
Was
idea.
the owner?
Lady.
Yeah.
The owner or the builder.
The owner's Andrew. His name's Andrew, but he goes by the Don Blanco as like a kind of like a catch. He has it on his license plate on his McLaren as well.
He has it on his license plate. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like his nickname, but his name's Andrew.
Your name's Andrew.
My name's Cutie Patootie.
Oh my. All right, so we got school districts down. Now what? We got 12 minutes.
Who knows how to use Rentometer?
I've used it. I've used it a few times.
Is there a good YouTube video you recommend to like learn how to use it?
No, I just plug in the address and say, okay, this is the average rental. And then I tell the client, this is the average rental.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, are you saying for like your residential income one you're talking about?
Yeah. I was just trying to think of ways to come up with more information for them.
I think, so here, where's it at?
We don't know yet. We're talking about it. She's interested now in looking at like residential income properties instead of buying an actual condo or things like that.
Well, let's pull up what's in San Diego County. So there's about 131 on the market. So send her to Alpine. I'm kidding. But no, these are like just pulling it off of this and then pulling these and then putting them in the Rentometer or whatever. Just put in, beds, bath, zip code, and then it'll give you an average. But I think you need to kind of nail down first what area you're going to look at because they're going to vary dramatically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got, Ashley. I don't know what else to talk about with Altos.
Unless anyone else has any questions, I think we're good to wrap up.
I have one more quick question. Sorry,
Okay.
guys. Does anybody use Mortgage News Daily or follow like Freddie Mac numbers? Is there any good like quick resource to sort of follow interest rates? Or do you
telling you-
guys just leave that completely up to the lenders?
I tell my clients to follow Barry Habib on Instagram
Very happy. Okay.
because he has hit the market changes like right to the dot for the last 4 changes.
Yeah.
Is his name Barry like strawberry or like Barry?
Barry, Barry Habib. I am Barry Habib is his Instagram account. He's a mortgage advisor, certified per Instagram.
That's all that matters.
Mortgage companies regularly hire him and have him come in and speak about the markets and trends and stuff.
His trend, like he hits it right on. It's wild.
I know he had a contract with Movement Mortgage for a while, and he was doing coaching and a lot of teaching about the market and stuff at one point.
Yeah.
All right, well, if we don't have any more questions on Altos, then I think that's a wrap for today.
Done.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
George.
Of course.
For your time.
Thank you.
and-
Thank you, George.
Come on,
Yeah.
son.
Very helpful. Thank you.
All right,
Y'all have
now
a great day. Happy Mardi Gras.
Yeah,
See
this
y'all.
will be on the team YouTube in by the end of the week, so feel free to refer back.
Yeah,
and see.
happy Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday.
All right, bye, everyone.